Hey to whoever is watching. Today we're diving into the most shocking and downright awful things Timmy Turner has ever done. We all know he's just a kid who makes mistakes, but some of his wishes were villain-level behavior, and if he didn't have fairies, he would have destroyed countless lives. To be honest, he should have been gotten his fairies taken away. So let's plunge into rules and the laws that this child has broken. Let's start with one of Timmy's most cruel moments, where he literally tortures Vicky when she becomes a 5-year-old kid. In the Switch Glitch episode of The Fairly Odd Parents, Timmy Turner becomes the worst version of himself when he wishes to switch roles with psycho-ass Vicky. After his parents break a promise and leave him with Vicky, Timmy, and I am definitely on his side with being tired of her abuse, wishes she was a 5-year-old, so he could become her babysitter and give a taste of her own medicine. However, Timmy starts to crash out as he starts mirroring Vicky's sadistic behavior. He blackmails 5-year-old Vicky using a tape recorder like she had done to him earlier, and tricks her into claiming she stole from her mom's purse.
Hi, I'm Vicky, and I stole from my mom's purse.
He offers to help Vicky water the garden, and then sprays her with Wanda as a hose, leaving her shivering cold. He was doing the most, to the point that even Cosmo and Wanda gave Timmy the side-eye. When Timmy takes it too far, he has a bit of remorse and wonders why he's not feeling like Roman Reigns when he swings his title belt. Which Wanda happily replies, "You just used our magic to torment a 5-year-old until she cries." Realizing that he let those intrusive thoughts win, he wants to apologize to Vicky, but right before he can, a fairy reassignment agent pops up, and he is not going for any of Timmy's excuses. Cosmo and Wanda are then reassigned to Vicky, leaving her with the power to get back at him. Now at the mercy of a magic-wielding Vicky, Timmy's situation goes from bad to worse. That's why they say, treat people how you want to be treated. In the end, Timmy manages to regain control by tricking Vicky into relinquishing her fairy godparents, and wishes for a carnival for her before he changes her back, so I guess he learned his lesson that torture is wrong either way. Next up, we have Timmy's decision to spread a picture of Mr. Crocker in a dress all over the internet. It's one thing to have a laugh at your teacher's expense, but it's another to humiliate him in front of the entire world. In the episode, Information Stupor Highway, Timmy is trying to write an email to Trixie to go to the dance with him. Why email and not text? A person born after 2010 asked. Well, because back then, emails weren't just for signing up for multiple free trials. He is genuinely confused about what to write when Cosmo suggests they threaten her by saying he has her parents.
Help! Police! Help!
I don't know what happened in the 90s to make this a normal thing to say, but it must have been done pretty often for Timmy's parents to double down on it, insisting that that's how they met. Which makes me believe that the theory of Timmy's mom dating Dinkelberg is true. Timmy's dad is a crazy incel and his mom has Stockholm Syndrome, but I'm getting off topic. His mom starts to help Timmy write the email while catching strays from Timmy's dad.
Oh, then mention her hair. It's so much shinier than yours, honey.
And your hair, which is so much shinier than my mom's.
That guy was definitely sleeping on the floor with a sheet of paper towel that night. Because of this, he wants to take Timmy down the rabbit hole with him and send the email. Timmy understandably panics and wishes for the email to be unsent. But he can't use magic to undo the email because it falls under true love and DAW rules, so he decides to wish himself into the internet to retrieve it manually. Timmy basically becomes a virus and invades multiple computers around the world, including AJ's, a little girl's in Australia who looks a lot like Bindi, a secret society of talking gorillas in Africa, and eventually Mr. Crocker's computer. Mr. Crocker went live to talk about his conspiracy as most YouTubers did back then, when his mom makes him try on her rubber red dress to make sure it fits. While Crocker is feeling himself, Timmy screen grabs the video but forgot to put himself on silent, and pings. Crocker hears this and starts tweaking like the FBI is watching him, while Timmy makes himself scarce. Timmy's antics escalate when he accidentally triggers Mr. Crocker's plan to expose fairies to the entire world, by sending his own virus to Timmy's IP address. Which was impeccable timing because Cosmo and Wanda randomly started a magic fight, and Crocker Virus was just getting everything on film. Desperate to fix his mistake, Timmy manages to delete the footage by leading Crocker's computer virus through it, saving the day just in time. But then he unnecessarily uploaded Mr. Crocker in a dress, making him a meme across the internet. You can say it's payback, but for what? Timmy had no business watching his teacher change, and grabbing the file was just being extra, leading the lunatic right to him. And when he fixes everything, he goes out of his way to expose him worldwide, then frames him as the hacker. When he gets back with a picture of Mr. Crocker, Timmy's dad says something completely out of pocket.
You're not supposed to be on those kinds of websites!
But that's my...
The episode ends with Trixie getting the letter regardless, by snatching it out of his hands. She was weirdly touched by the letter, but rightfully rejected him because of the mom comparison. Veronica ends up getting the letter after and went straight into Delulu land. But I guess it's fine since he piqued my interest in coding. In the Fairly Odd Parents episode, That Old Black Magic, Timmy Turner's disregard for superstitions leads to a series of unfortunate events that spiral out of control. The episode begins with the Turners heading to an amusement park called Adrenaland, where Timmy is eager to ride the Spleen Puncher. However, being Friday the 13th, everyone is cautious, except Timmy, who mocks the superstitions. Timmy's first reckless act occurs when he steps on a crack, causing his mother's back to break. Instead of owning up, he blames his father, who then tries to protect Timmy with good luck charms.
It's too late for your mom!
Despite the warnings from Cosmo and Wanda about the anti-fairies, along with mischievous creatures that cause bad luck on Friday the 13th, Timmy continues to ignore the dangers. His actions result in multiple rides breaking down, and eventually the entire amusement park starting to fall apart. Determined to stop the bad luck, Timmy wishes for the anti-fairies to be freed from their captivity, unknowingly unleashing chaos across fairy world and Earth. Honestly, what did he think was going to happen? Like, he could have just wished for a microphone to talk to them or something. Top 10 dumbest wishes by far. The anti-fairies, led by the cunning anti-Cosmo, wreak havoc globally, causing disasters like the collapse of the Eiffel Tower and the toppling of the Statue of Liberty. Timmy, realizing the severity of his mistake, tries to rectify it by luring the anti-fairies into a trap and successfully returns them to captivity. Even after resolving the chaos, Timmy's carelessness persists. He demonstrates to his father that the bad luck is over by stomping on another crack, causing the entire amusement park to collapse. In the end, the family opts for a dull trip to Escalatorland instead, with Timmy regretting his earlier choices. His reckless and dismissive attitude towards superstitions not only causes widespread chaos, but also ruins his family's day. Then, there's the time Timmy broke his dad's heart by not using the bike his dad built for him. Timmy's dad put so much love and effort into making that bike, only for Timmy to reject it for something cooler. Now the bike did have a face only a mother could love, but didn't he ever hear it's the thought that counts? It's a small moment compared to some of the other disasters, but it's one of the most heartbreaking. It's a reminder that sometimes, the worst thing you can do is hurt someone who loves you. The episode begins with Timmy playing a game with Cosmo and Wanda in the fishbowl, when his dad interrupts, eager to show Timmy a present he made for him, a homemade bike. The bike, however, is a disaster. It's made of manure, wood, and rusty old parts. I already said this wasn't the best DIY. Disappointed, Timmy wishes for a super cool bike, despite having an agreement to avoid super wishes, especially after the disastrous super toilet incident. Timmy's new bike, aptly named Superbike, is flashy and sentient, quickly taking over Timmy's life. The next day, Timmy decides to ride Superbike to his friend Chester's house instead of his dad's homemade bike, hurting his father's feelings. Superbike, however, starts to show its controlling nature by ignoring Timmy's directions and taking him to a race instead. Meanwhile, Timmy's dad is heartbroken, but tries to hide it by claiming he's doing deep breathing exercises.
Fine. I'll be right over here doing my pre-race deep breathing exercises. Don't be alarmed if it looks like I'm sobbing. Oh, and if my eyes start to water, then that's normal too.
As the race begins, Timmy feels guilty and wants to drop out of the race and go home. Superbike is not having it and went straight on demon time. Wanda tries to poof Superbike away, but it doesn't work because Timmy had wished for it to be indestructible. Realizing he made a mistake, Timmy tricks Superbike into going outside, then slams the garage door to discuss a plan with Cosmo and Wanda. Timmy pretends there's a scratch on Superbike, which causes the bike to become enraged. In a frantic battle, Timmy and his godparents dismantle parts of Superbike until it falls apart. Timmy manages to escape on his dad's homemade bike, with Superbike in pursuit. But eventually, Superbike collapses, and Wanda flushes its remains down a toilet. Timmy returns to the race just in time to join his dad, and they both laugh as their poorly made bikes fall apart during the race. In the end, Timmy's reckless wish and disregard for his dad's feelings nearly resulted in disaster, proving once again that Timmy's impulsiveness makes him the worst in this episode. Imagine caring so much about some random neighbor's opinion that you would take away everyone's individuality to make yourself feel better. Timmy does exactly that in this episode. The episode starts with Timmy, Chester, and AJ playing a game called Timmy Ball, which is Timmy's version of dodgeball. Antics starts to roll as he tries to take their heads off and accidentally launches his ball in a neighbor's yard, which looks like spirits are having tea in the cellar and a serial killer is checking the mail. Timmy tries to receive his ball to be met with a dentist who basically looks like one of those "can I get a hug" guys in high school that never healed. The dentist, Dr. Bender, basically gives him a Karen act of "what's on my property is mine," and proceeds to tell him that he and his big teeth are leaving without his ball, which is kind of crazy to talk to a child like that, especially if you're a dentist, and stealing Timmy's property in the process. Timmy goes home and is understandably butthurt about the comments of his teeth after Dr. Bender crashed out and threw rocks in his window. Something is definitely off about this guy. Instead of telling his parents that he was getting bullied by a middle-aged man, he opted for another route. Make everyone the same so his insecurities don't bother him anymore. After he makes his wish, the whole world becomes gray, and everyone becomes blobs, kinda like the plot of the Given book. For some reason, Timmy thinks this is the best thing ever until he realizes he can't find Wanda or Cosmo, which is kind of weird seeing as they were in the room with him, but plot, I guess.
Are you Timmy?
I just told you, I'm Chet.
I hate this wish.
After he stripped everyone of their identity, he realizes he's bored and everybody wants to play blob ball, but he wants to play Timmy ball. He kicks the ball back into the same serial killer mansion, and met with the same narcissistic behavior from Dr. Bender. Dr. Bender and his son are filling themselves regardless, saying that they still look better than him even as blobs. Timmy is now kicked out of the yard again and realizes he made this wish for no reason, as his two haters still think that they're better than him. Only now does he decide that he needs to change everyone back. Not because taking away people's freedoms is bad, but because his haters are still talking sugar. On the flip side, fairies are exploding because of this wish, since they're not able to identify their godchildren. Timmy doesn't really care about all that and goes to find Cosmo and Wanda. By this time, Cosmo has already exploded, and it is only a matter of time before Wanda does too. Timmy heads home to find something vibrant. And in true cartoon fashion, it is his mom's souffle that is the most vibrant. He takes his mom's now disgusting pink casserole and goes to find his fairies. Creating a pink hat, he goes hollering around for them, getting Dr. Bender's attention, who starts a hate mob towards him for being different. Wanda ends up finding him right before she explodes, and he wishes everything back to normal. It ends with Timmy's mom going to Dr. Bender's house to get his ball back by smashing Dr. Bender in the mouth with the ball, which was very much needed. This just showed that Timmy Wish was super unnecessary and completely selfish. All he had to do is let his mama bear know what was going on. Wishing for Christmas every day sounds like a dream come true, right? Because other religious holidays don't matter. Not to mention the fact that not everyone has the money to buy gifts every day. Well, maybe the Carters or the Kardashians. But definitely not me. I mind my tax bracket. But because of this wish, the world's economy collapsed. People were exhausted, and the magic of Christmas was completely lost. This wish was a prime example of Timmy's impulsive nature, where he didn't think about the long-term consequences. The episode begins with Timmy excitedly anticipating Christmas, his favorite day of the year. Not just because of the gifts, but because it's the one day his parents stay home and Vicky doesn't babysit him. Which is fair. I'm honestly happy that he gets a day of peace. He ends up singing a very off-key musical number while catching strays from his dad about why Christmas is a vibe.
Valentine's Day always makes me sick.
Timmy just can't get a girlfriend.
He ends up passing out from all the fun, and I'm not gonna lie, it looks like he might have just been saying, "I wish it could be Christmas every day out of nostalgia." But Cosmo and Wanda take this literally, because they're obligated to grant his every wish. And don't get me wrong, doing a little do-over is not a terrible thing to do unless you're King Neptune. After the first day, the second day, or the third day, or the fourth day, he could have said, "Okay guys, I wish everything would go back to normal," but no. He keeps going until he realizes instead of getting his big toy ocean, he gets a toy puddle. They're also having an issue with the snow, like, I don't understand why nobody is still shoveling the driveways, but that's neither here nor there. Timmy's dad is also a eggnog-oholic by this time, while his mom is more concerned about how they are going to pay the bills. The continuous holiday also causes significant problems in Dimsdale and beyond. Schools, stores, and businesses remain closed, and people grow so sick of Christmas, to the point that Santa Claus is now a terroristic threat that the US Army is trying to assassinate. Honestly, it's crazy that it is more believable that Santa Claus is actually real, now that the US government came out saying that aliens are real. But I'm getting off topic. Timmy gets ambushed by the other holidays, who may or may not be a part of a mob led by the Easter Bunny. He tries to unwish the wish, but realizes that he can't because there's no more magic. The fairies had to give as much magic as they could every year to Santa Claus to make Christmas happen.
Ho ho hoo, fix the sign. You've got magic.
Holy mackerel!
The rest of the holiday characters are still chewing Timmy out, and then they came up with a plan to banish Santa to the non-existent date of February 33rd. They snatch Timmy's fairies and go on a hunt for Santa Claus. By this time, Timmy does feel some remorse, so I can't be too upset with him. He does try to get to the North Pole by going through his gifts to see if there's something to get him to the North Pole. Cue parents ex machina.
All this survival gear, a detailed map from our house to the North Pole, so simple that even a 10-year-old child could read, and I can't find the eggnog anywhere!
Timmy is now geared up with everything he could possibly need to get to the North Pole, except for extra gas, but because he sent out a message towards as many children as possible and gets help along the way, including bread and snails from the French. Quick question for anybody watching from France. What does snails taste like? Because I'm curious. He also got into Greenland, which, contrary to the name, is not green. The other holidays also get there at the same time. Timmy ends up tricking the holidays into letting him on board their van, and they head to the North Pole, which has all the elves on strike at the moment, and Santa Claus is going through an identity crisis. Timmy ends up sliding into his office in a dirty diaper, telling Santa Claus that he is the reason why Christmas is going on every day. Santa Claus says it's understandable, because Christmas joy makes you do a lot of crazy things, but Mrs. Claus is having none of it, and tells Timmy he's gonna have coal for the rest of his life. To which Timmy says he doesn't care if he didn't get another present again. All he wants is to change things back to normal. The mascots then rush him before he gets it all out.
What are you lesser holidays doing here?
That sounded a little ear-raising. The holidays end up in a whole magic war, while Cosmo and Wanda are sucking up all the magic. The other lesser holidays end up beating Santa, absorbing all the magic. Timmy did his thing though. He did stand up and protect Santa Claus. But the Easter Bunny did not care. He was not scared until he saw the other kids pull up. In the end, the mascots realized their mistake and returned Santa's magic. However, the world is still stuck in an endless Christmas until Timmy rallies the children to ask Santa for one final gift, to make it December 26th. With the endless Christmas finally over, Timmy learns that his impulsive wish nearly ruined the holiday for everyone, leading Jorgen von Strangle to add a new rule to Da Rules that forbids fairies from granting Christmas everyday wishes. He still gets punished by having to deliver the gifts next year on Christmas, giving Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus a break. To be honest, I think this was chopped up due to miscommunication between him and his fairies, but it was very devastating worldwide. Last on this list is You Do. This episode takes the cake for me. Controlling a person's every move really showcased Timmy's insecurities. Also, I didn't put Timmy's secret wish, since it's a movie that deserves its own breakdown. Francis is on Looney Tune behavior when the episode begins. shaping and twisting Timmy and AJ into balls for sport. After passing out, Wanda and Cosmo revive him, and once awake, Timmy sees he's branded with a sticker by Francis and is determined to get back at him. Hearing about Timmy's thirst for revenge, Cosmo mentions you-do dolls, which are secret dolls they never tell kids about due to how dangerous they are. A you-do doll is similar to a voodoo doll, meaning that whatever you do to the doll happens to the person the doll resembles. Using a Timmy you-do doll to demonstrate the effect, Cosmo tosses the Timmy doll, causing Timmy to get tossed as well and injure himself. Witnessing the powerful things these dolls could do, Timmy wants them. Wanda tries to tell Timmy that you-do dolls can be very dangerous, but in true Timmy fashion, he ignores her and wishes up a Francis doll. We see him at lunch with signs around his table to antagonize Francis, setting the stage that he can beat Francis in a fight with his hands tied behind his back. And he does thanks to the you-do doll. He gets cheered and celebrated all the way home. Wanda warns his once again about the dangers of the dolls, but then gets possessed herself, as Cosmo has her doll, which leads to a voodoo fight that would make Chucky very proud. The next day, on an adrenaline rush from the fight, he wants to control more people. He starts by making Crocker change all his F's into A's while slamming a mallet on his head. Thank God this is a cartoon. Abusing his power again, he hurls Veronica, Tad, and Chad out of the way so that he could talk to Trixie, making her sit with him against her will. Everything's going great in his mind until Tootie finds the Timmy doll Cosmo tossed earlier. He figured this out after he was forced to say mean and nasty things about Trixie and compliment Tootie.
I love Tootie. She's smart, she's funny, and she is so much prettier than anyone, especially that icky-yucky Trixie.
And if things couldn't get worse, the Timmy doll ends up in Francis's hands. Francis throws the doll away, badly injuring Timmy. The doll then ends up on a rocket, which blasts off, shooting Timmy into the air.
That figures.
After they fly high into the sky and the rocket stops, Timmy pulls the doll out and the rocket falls, destroying the teacher's parking lot. Timmy knows he would be killed by the impact, so he throws together a makeshift parachute for the you-do doll, allowing it to land safely on a tree branch and allowing him to land lightly on the ground as well. Unfortunately, the doll then falls into a wood chipper, and the blades slowly start shredding the doll up, starting from its hat. His hat disappearing gradually, Timmy hurriedly opens his box of you-do dolls and finds the Cosmo and Wanda dolls, quickly putting together their dolls incorrectly. Timmy uses the doll to make Wanda say that they should get to the school. They poof to the school, and a panicked Timmy quickly wishes that the you-do dolls were gone. I can't lie, Wanda completely ate this look. Right before Timmy's you-do doll was torn into pieces, it disappears, and so does the whole box full of them. After this scarring experience, Timmy learns a very valuable lesson. It's wrong and abusive to control people, and boys shouldn't play with dolls. That last part did not age well. This was truly disgusting behavior, and the worst side of Timmy. If it wasn't for Tootie, I believe that Timmy would have definitely crossed the line. That is the end of my list. I know that he has done a lot more worse things, but listing them all would take me days, so let me know which ones missed down below. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.